not just listening to just an ordinary sports podcast.
We've raised the bar.
And that ball is gone.
You're listening to the maddest sports podcast in Nashville.
Yes, sir.
And now, coming to the mic is the maddest sports host in the 615, James C.
Yo, what it is? It's your boy James C. back with another episode of YMAS. That's You Mad About Sports podcast, the maddest sports podcast in the 615. So, today's episode. Should the Lakers bring in Andrew Bynum? For those of you who might have been under a rock here lately, Andrew Bynum is making a comeback. Yes, he's making a comeback to the NBA. A video recently surfaced of him in a gym shooting threes. And he looked skinnier. He looked healthy. And, he's trying to change his game up to match the way the game is played now. So, the question was asked, should the Lakers bring him in? Well, okay, let's really take a look at this and see why the Lakers may or may not want to bring him in for a look-see. So let's take a look. Let's address who the Lakers have on their roster so far. At the center position, they have JaVale McGee at 7 foot, 270 pounds. I thought that was kind of amazing. I didn't think JaVale McGee actually weighed 270 pounds. He doesn't look it, but, he is. And then Ivica Zubac, 7 foot 1, 240 pounds. Now, JaVale McGee, we all know, love, hate, kind of wonder about JaVale McGee. What are his strengths? Well, he can guard both the 4 and the 5 positions. He can guard outside the perimeter. He's an above-average rim protector, has the size and the length to grab the boards down low, and he's at his best when he's running the floor on the fast breaks. You look at what Golden State Warriors did with him last year when he came off the bench. He was the perfect weapon to have when they ran their fast break offense. And he knows how to space and run the floor. Him and Draymond Green probably had one of the better chemistries in the NBA last year. Draymond knew where JaVale was going to be. Their Lob City action was dynamic, which is one of the reasons why Golden State won the finals like they did last year. So, we know JaVale McGee. We've all seen JaVale McGee be JaVale McGee, and we've also seen him be a pretty damn good player in this league when he's focused. But that's the thing. When he's focused, he's good. But his weakness, he's not consistent night in and night out. He's a Shaq in the full Hall of Fame. JaVale McGee is going to give you some scratch your head highlights like, dog, what you doing? Like, what are you doing? JaVale McGee's going to give you those. And yes, he's with my Lakers. And I expect him to at least give me a good 50 of those. What are you doing, dog? But hey, that's him. That's his game. Who knows? Maybe LeBron can make him really, really focused. Golden State made JaVale McGee look like a pretty damn good player. Can LeBron help him, with his game, help him be focused? We don't know, okay? So that's JaVale McGee. And then also with him, there's more questions than you have answers. And, like we said, we just don't know. We don't know what JaVale McGee is going to give you night in and night out. So, it is what it is. With Zubac, he's big. He's a physical center. He is a true center who can make plays. He's that classic center who can make plays in the post, has run the court ability, and he hustles to collect the boards, y'all. Like, if you've watched Zubac play over the last couple of years, Zubac knows how to get them boards. He's young. A lot of people compare him to Marc Gasol. I see a little bit of Gasol in his game. He doesn't have the shooting ability like Gasol does, but that down low play, his ability to make plays in the post. I mean, he's a classic center. You lob him the ball down low in the post, He has a nice little hook. He has a decent little mid-range. He's a classic center. He is what he is. But his weakness is he is a classic center. He's not built for today's game. He's not built like JaVale McGee. He can't cover outside the perimeter. He can't cover a spread or a stretch 4 or a stretch 5. He can't do that. He's also not that great as a pick and roll defender. If you've watched Zubac play over the last couple of years, he doesn't necessarily know how to pick and choose who to guard off the block when it comes down to the pick. He just doesn't. And it is what it is. That's his style of play. He's a old-fashioned center. He's going to have to learn. He's going to have to adapt. And he's young. So, it isn't to say that he can't, but as of right now, it's not in his DNA, as far as we know. We haven't seen it. So, now to get to the question at hand. We talked about JaVale McGee. We talked about Zubac. Should the Lakers bring in Andrew Bynum? Why should they? Well, let's look at his size. He's 7 foot, 285 pounds. Now, that's what he's listed online. We honestly don't know how big Andrew Bynum is now. Again, the video that surfaced, he looks lighter. He looks leaner. He looks healthy. So, we honestly don't know what his weight is, but his internet weight says that he's 285 pounds. Just looking at him, he kind of looks like JaVale McGee, so I'll put him in that 270, 260 range, I guess. Would be a safe call for Andrew Bynum, but it is what it is. He's 7 foot, 200, let's say 70 pounds. Okay. Remember, Andrew Bynum was regarded for a brief time as the best center in the league. It was him versus Dwight Howard for a very brief moment, but those 1 or 2 years where it was who's really the best center in the league, Andrew Bynum was killing. He made an all-star team. Dude was dominant. He was getting rebounds. People looked at Bynum as the next big thing, and he was still young. And he had battled some knee injuries, but when he had that one healthy season, oh my goodness, he was just a dominant center. So remember, he at one point in time, he was regarded as probably the best center in the league. Is Fiscal a true classic center, or maybe I should say was a true classic center? Again, he's changed his game to keep up with today's play. And if you've watched the video that surfaced, he was knocking down some threes. Now, naturally the video was edited. We don't know how many times, he was probably hitting those threes, but, it is what it is. Now, here's another question. How committed is he? Remember, Bynum hasn't played since 2013-2014 season. So will he be focused this time around? Who's to say? We don't know. We honestly don't know. And attitude and character questions. Will he or can he mesh with this locker room? Now, this locker room has tons of character. And do you want that type of character around? Bynum, for the latter part of his career was depicted as a cancer in the locker room. It was all about me. Remember when he was traded to Philly? Very few people remember his time in Philly. Very few people remember his time in Indiana. It was all about him. So has he changed? Has he matured? Those are questions that would need to be answered for me, for probably Lakers fans all over the place, to see if Andrew Bynum's even worth bringing in. We got the GOAT. We got hold up. We got the king. We got the king. I'm sorry, y'all. We got the king. We got the king on our team now. With this type of player, really, would he mesh with LeBron? Would he screw up LeBron and what he brings to this team? We don't know. We honestly don't know. And, we won't know. And I guess we'll see down the line. But I want to ask y'all, what do y'all think? What do my fellow Lakers fans think? Would you bring Andrew Bynum back? Seriously, would you? So, I asked that question. This is what I want y'all to do. I want you to tweet me. Follow me on Twitter. And then tweet me telling me what you would do if you were the Lakers. would you bring Andrew Bynum back? You can tweet me at jcottonsports52. Go on ahead and tweet at YMAS Network while you're at it. And hit that follow button. Subscribe to the podcast, on SoundCloud, on iTunes, on YouTube. Go on ahead and subscribe. You can listen to this episode right on there. And, share it with your fam, share it with your homeboys, and debate amongst yourselves. And then go and follow back and hit me up on Twitter with y'all's answers, all right? So that's the show. You've been listening to YMAS, that's You Mad About Sports podcast, the maddest sports podcast in the 615, in the Ville. I'm your boy, James C. I'm out of here. Holla at your boy.